One of the exercises that we do when it comes to finding clarity is getting hold of 3 words. Now, when I go through this, I find 3 words for the different categories of people in my life that are important to me. So I'll think of people like my wife. I'll think of people like my friends that I'm close with, and what I'll do is I'll do an exercise where I think out 5 years. 5 years from now, things have gone well for me. A lot of the things that I was trying to do in business were winning. The things that I'm trying to do with my marriage are winning. Like, all of these different things are going really well. And then I ask myself, okay, if I was in a situation where I could overhear my wife talking to one of her friends about me, what would be the words that I want her to use to describe me? And what I'll usually do is I'll write this stuff down and I'll brainstorm it out. I won't be just trying to find those 3 perfect magical words at first. What I'll do is I'll just start writing a bunch of stuff. Like, these are the ways that I want her to describe me. This is the way that I want her to feel toward me. And I write these words down. And then after I feel like I've really given it some effort and I've really thought about it, I'll go through and I'll narrow it down. And sometimes it can be a phrase, sometimes it can be a single word, but the phrase can be distilled into a single word. The words need to be very, very small so that I can remember them easier. So then we wind up getting them down to 3 words, and then I have to ask myself, what would I have to do in order to get this outcome in her mind? Okay, so when she says loving, that could mean something different to me than it does to her. If she says kind or thoughtful, then that means something different to her than it does to me, right? And what the exercise does is help me to really get clear and think about what it is that the most important people want and how I can distill it down so that before I go home, I've got a Post-it note on the dash that says my 3 words. And I will pause and take a break and say, hey, you know what? Before I go into the house, I'm going to go over my 3 words for my wife. And before I come into work, I'm going to go over my 3 words that are toward my coworkers and my customers. And before I go and go into, leave my house, before I head off into the world, how do I want the people that I just casually meet, how do I want them to describe me? And when you start loading your mind, before you need to be completely on your game, when you start getting your mind ready so that you can deliver the goods, you're more likely to. And you're more likely to bring your A game and live in a way that you say, that is how the best version of me shows up. Okay, so those are my pointers and tips and the exercises that I like to go through to help get clarity. What are the 3 words that you came up with, and how did that exercise help you to narrow down and get clear on those couple of things, maybe get some perspective? I'm Adam Funderburg, the owner of High Caliber Coaching, and I will catch you later. Bye-bye.